Hi there. Thanks for joining in today and welcome on board. It's just about Doodle and we are back again. Today it's Q1 episode 12 and we've got just one more to go for this quarter. And today we are exploring the topic worship that permeates the heart of God. So as we draw close to the end of the quarter, brace yourself because we are diving into a very interesting topic, one that affects every one of us. The topic that usually sparks discussions amongst every one of us at church. Yes, I'm talking about a topic worship. You don't want to miss this. Let's go. So, first things first, my guess is we all have either encountered or participated in worship at one time or the other in all these years we've been Christians. So, question is, what exactly is worship? While you are still thinking, let me share my thoughts. Now, worship is a heartfelt response to God, expressed in a variety of ways in consonance with God's principles, in acknowledgement of who He is and the unmerited privileges that we enjoy in Him. Worship is not a thoughtless refrain of expressions or actions. Neither is it exclusively an emotionally driven response. It is a balance of reason and emotion, birthing an attitude of gratitude in reverence, conducted intelligently and thoughtfully. One of the benefits of worship is that it compels us to tarry in God's presence, and in the process, our faculties are illuminated, nursing a sense of devotion to God and a deeper understanding of the character of God. One of these attributes of God that we will learn very quickly is that God is very particular about details, especially about the terms of engagement with Him in worship. How do I know that? Well, you can ask Brother Noah. God specifically tells him to build an ark with a specific dimension, design, and a particular wood type. Talk about details. Or you can ask Brother Moses, who was instructed to make a sanctuary in the exact replica of the original version shown him by God. Or you could ask Brother Saul. He was rejected as king for flouting God's laid-down protocols and interfering with the priestly ministry. Better still, you could ask Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aaron, who were also priests. In same vein, they flouted God's laid-down principles by bringing in strange fire into the temple. You know how that ended. From these examples, we can safely infer that God has defined specifics with respect to the terms of engagement in worship, and they can be summarized as holiness. Be ye holy. And obedience, a broken spirit and a contrite heart, the Lord will not despise. Prerequisite number one, holiness. What are the prerequisites to come into God's presence in worship? Psalm 15:2. He who is upright and does not tell lies. 15:3. The one who does not slander anyone or listen to gossip. 15:5. He who helps without desiring benefit from it. 15:5b. He who does not tolerate injustice. 15:5a. He who honors those who fear God. 15:4b. He who does not change the word he has given when he is harmed. Psalm 24 verse 4. He who is of a pure heart and pure feelings, clean heart. Psalms 1 verse 1. He who does not seek the company of the wicked but rebukes their sins. Prerequisite number 2. Have you noticed that when the unity between the outward expression of worship and the correct inner motivation for worship falls apart, rituals usually become more important in and of themselves rather than the actual experience of drawing close to God. That is, the forms of worships become an end in themselves as opposed to the God whom those rituals are supposed to point to and reveal. Now, what good were these sacrifices if the hearts of those offering them were not filled with repentance, faith, and a sorrow for sin? Only when accompanied by repentance and sincere thanksgiving could these sacrifices of bulls actually please God as sacrifices of righteousness. Jesus puts it this way: these people, they draw near to me with their mouth and they honor me with their lips, but their hearts very far away from me. Now let's take some questions. Question number one: how are individual and corporate worship related? And why do we need them both? So, if someone who professed to love you only showed that publicly but not in private, they ignore you in the private, would you consider that love or even a relationship? Let's look at another perspective. So, if we all agree that worship enhances our journey of sanctification, and that the more of it we have, the deeper our experience of God, how often would you recommend worship? Once a week? Twice a week? Or maybe daily? Now, your guess is as good as mine. Worship must begin in the heart as a personal journey. And if we are all on that journey, imagine the explosion of a corporate worship. The reverse is the case for a personal epileptic devotional life. Question number two: what exactly constitutes worship? The Psalms describe a variety of acts of worship, like singing, lifting your hands up in worship, praying, praising, crying, even weeping. The underlying principle here is that when we, in an attitude of gratitude in consonance with God's principles, engage in actions that honor God, we worship. However, this has to be done in spirit and in truth. Question number three: is our attitude to keeping appointments with God a form of worship? Permit me extract a principle from Malachi chapter 1. So, in this text, there's a picture of an argument going on between the priest and God. The priest had accused God of not accepting the sacrifices to him, and in response, God was making a case. And they accused God for not accepting the sacrifices. How does God respond? Here is a little background. The priest had started offering blind, lame, and diseased animals to God in sacrifice, as opposed to the speculation of an unblemished animal for sacrifice. And God's argument was, why would you do that to me? Would you do the same to your bosses? And I put it this way: a son honors his father, and a slave his master. If I be your father, where then is the honor due me? If I be your master, where is the respect due me? So, in keeping with the principle of this argument, if you will keep early appointments and maintain a stellar attendance record with your job, business, or school, does God deserve any less? Is it fair to give our best to every and anything else and only reserve the rest and leftovers for God? I'll leave you to answer that question. So, as you prepare for the next corporate worship by Sabbath next weekend, remember, there is a preparation that precedes effective worship experience. And if you must enjoy the full experience of corporate worship come next Sabbath, you must start with your daily personal devotions today. And that's it for the week. Thanks for joining in today. Please kindly like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you next Sabbath. It's just a basket doodle, doodling out.